Good morning. I am 5 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward or stay with us through our hellos. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Gina. Yes, thank you. I am back. Glad to see the ocean and be here. And of course, to reunite with Matryoshka. They love the weather now. It's so beautiful, kind of cool. Good morning, Ari. Good morning, Cindy. All right, it is time for us to start, and we continue studying the mindful self-compassion as taught by Christopher Gurma and Kristin Neff. Today, we will look at the concept of resistance. First, let's take a minute or so to softly land into the present moment. so that we can easier take in the theory of it. And then we'll do a short practice around the concept as usual. And I want to emphasize the soft landing that you can do pretty much at any time because it takes only a few moments, but so that you kind of, especially after I recently landed in Cozumel in a very harsh way, just kind of bam into the ground. It was not pleasant, even though I was buckled up. Obviously, I kind of almost slammed into the seat in front of me, so that was not pleasant. And in the same way, we can meet the present moment with this kind of slamming into it, or in a very soft and easy way. So let's try that. Close your eyes for a moment. You can close your eyes partially or fully and begin to notice how your body breathes itself. Feel the chest expand and contract with each breath. Focus on the rhythm of your breathing, rising and falling, just like the sea. Allow yourself to be gently held, gently rocked by your breath. Allow yourself to land softly in the present moment, right here, right now, knowing it is safe. And softly start sounds, sensations. Scan your breath, scan your body, and just be. Notice the quality of this moment. And now you can choose to open your eyes again or keep them closed as I share a bit of theory with you on the concept of resistance. So, mindfulness has two key aspects: awareness and acceptance of the present moment experience. Resistance is the opposite of acceptance. Resistance refers to the struggle that occurs when we believe that our moment to moment experience should be different from what it is, when we try to control. Recognizing and letting go of unnecessary resistance reduce our suffering. So, how can we know if we are resisting? Here are some examples of resistance. When our attention bounces off unpleasant events, when we just don't want to go there, so we find different distractions. Or when we worry incessantly, or when our muscles tense up as if to create a shield against physical injury. Resistance happens also when we distract ourselves with meaningless entertainment, or when we drink or eat too much to avoid what we're feeling. So, based on these examples, take a moment to acknowledge what signs and symptoms of resistance are common for you. I'll give you a few moments for that. Remember that, like everything else in life, resistance is not inherently bad. Without resistance, we would be constantly overwhelmed by the intensity of our ordinary life. So, resistance really helps us function, but at the same time, it has a cost. There is a saying that what we resist persists. What we resist persists. Pain is inevitable in life. Loss of a loved one, physical injury, illness, financial hardship. But we often prolong and amplify our pain by resisting it. For example, what happens when we find ourselves awake in the middle of the night and struggle to fall asleep? This struggle is likely to keep us awake even longer, isn't it? And we understand it, and yet almost can't help it, counting how many hours we still have until we wake up, until we need to get up, making ourselves feel bad for not falling back asleep, worrying that we won't have enough time to rest well, etc., etc. Over time, a simple episode of sleeplessness can even develop into a case of insomnia. In the same way, when we fight grief, it can develop into depression. When we try to avoid anxiety, it can become a case of panic disorder. Meditation teacher Shinzen Yan has created a formula to describe the power of resistance. Suffering equals pain times resistance. Suffering equals pain times resistance. And of course, we all know the phrase, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. According to this formula, if we stop resisting, our suffering would be zero, even when we are in pain. And it is very true. As you know, I am in physical pain a lot of times with the migraine that I have. And whenever I can accept this pain as something that just is, I really don't suffer, even though I'm in pain. But of course, at times I start getting mad at the pain, so I'm resisting it. And then I get frustrated and sometimes even depressed because of it. Unfortunately, knowing all of this doesn't make it easy to stop resisting experiences that we consider unpleasant. Because most of our resistance is completely unconscious. There is a myriad of ways we fight or avoid our experiences, wishing things to be different than they are, without even noticing it. Denial, projection, dissociation, the defense mechanisms that were defined by Freud, are all examples of unconscious resistance. So really, resistance is hardwired into the human brain. The opposite of resistance is expressed in another saying: what we can feel, we can heal. What we can feel, we can heal. Which means that when we accept our moment-to-moment discomfort, we increase the possibility that it will all change on its own. Fortunately, we can learn to let go of the fight and live more amicably with our moment-to-moment experience. And that's mindfulness. We can also let go of the battle that we wage against ourselves, the constant struggle to be a better person, and learn to befriend ourselves just as we are. And that is self-compassion. Together, mindfulness and self-compassion are powerful antidotes to resistance. So let's explore this concept together through a short practice. Once again, take a comfortable position and settle in, landing softly into this moment, into your body, into your breath. Now think of a current situation in your life in which you may be resisting the reality of an unwanted experience. And you suspect that the resistance is causing you unnecessary suffering and may actually be making things even worse. And here we're not referring to resisting unjust situation in your life, but rather how we feel, resisting moment-to-moment experience, resisting something unpleasant, unwanted. Also, for the sake of this exercise, please choose a relatively benign situation. Maybe it's some resentment toward a loud neighbor or ignoring a talkative friend's phone call, not something that hurts you very deeply. As you reflect on this situation, scan your body. Where do you feel this resistance the most? Maybe your fists are clenched. Maybe your jaw is tense. Where do you feel this discomfort in your body and in your mind? Can you describe it to yourself? Now think about how this resistance is actually benefiting you. Perhaps it's helping you to cope temporarily. If difficult feelings arise as you reflect on this, please be kind to yourself. Honor your resistance, knowing that it allows you to function in the world. And now think of how this resistance is not serving you. How might your life be easier if you stopped resisting, or if you resisted just a little less? And now let's do a self-compassion break practice using the resistance as the object of it. The first step in self-compassion break is mindfulness, acknowledging your own suffering. So you may say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. This resistance is a moment of suffering, or whatever phrase resonates best for you right now. The second step is to recognize our common humanity. Here you may say, suffering is a part of life. And the third step is self-kindness. Say to yourself something like, may I be kind to myself in this moment, and maybe put your hands over your heart. Take a few moments to release whatever resistance you can in this moment. For example, if you notice that your fists are clenched, deliberately open your palms and place your hands gently on your knees. If your jaw is tense, wiggle it a bit from side to side. Whatever you need to bring some softness into your body and into your mind. Now scan your body again and notice how you're feeling right now, allowing any sensations to be just as they are, allowing yourself to be just as you are in this moment, right here, right now. As you go through your day today, I invite you to notice what experiences you're usually resisting, even if it's just a very subtle resistance, expressed by your clenched fists or tense jaw. In these moments, try to do a short self-compassion break, just like we did now. And also ask yourself, what is it that I am resisting? Does this resistance benefit me in some way? What would the moment be like if I stopped resisting? As always, enjoy your explorations. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you on Saturday. Tomorrow, Lorna will be giving her breathing practice at the same time, 7:30 Cozumel time, that now coincides with Eastern. Have a beautiful day. Bye.